Swimming pool contractors are rapidly adopting liquid densifiers and waterproofing agents. These colloidal silicates are marketed as non-toxic, eco-friendly liquids that stop plaster cracking and seal pool shells flawlessly. But those performance benefits mask a severe hazard. Applying and finishing these specific chemicals generates mists and airborne dusts that are invisible to the naked eye while they infiltrate the lungs. We have seen this pattern before. For decades, asbestos was celebrated as the ultimate construction material, cheap, fireproof, and highly effective, before its true impact on respiratory health was understood. Colloidal silicates share the same dangerous traits: the seduction of high performance, the complete invisibility of the threat during work, and a silent latency period that hides biological damage for years. By relying on these materials without nanoscale protections, the swimming pool industry is repeating the same operational mistakes that made asbestos the deadliest material in construction history. When you cut or grind natural stone, concrete, or mortar, you generate respirable crystalline silica. This is the microscopic, jagged crystalline dust that creates a visible cloud in the air. Colloidal silicates rely on synthetic amorphous nanosilica. Because these particles lack a repeating lattice structure, they are classified as amorphous, a term the industry incorrectly equated with being biologically safe. At the nanoscale, surface chemistry becomes the primary hazard. These particles feature a dense layer of silanol groups that allow them to cross biological membranes and bond directly with human cell proteins. These engineered particles bypass the standard physical barriers that trap traditional silica dust, making safety protocols designed for visible dust ineffective against nanoscale chemistry. During application, liquid silicates are often applied using low-pressure pump sprayers. Wind shear and overspray can easily nebulize the liquid, creating a respirable mist that drifts into the worker's breathing zone. The exposure level increases during mechanical finishing. After the treated pool plaster or concrete has cured, workers return to power sand, grind, or dry sweep the surface. This violent mechanical action destroys the material's structure, releasing hyper-concentrated clouds of synthetic nanodust directly into the air. Whether the worker is spraying the wet liquid or finishing the dry concrete, these routine tasks ensure continuous exposure to a chemically reactive, invisible hazard. Once inhaled, these particles penetrate deep into the lung tissue. Measuring under 100 nanometers, they are small enough to evade the macrophages, the immune cells responsible for clearing foreign debris. This flowchart tracks the biological failure. Macrophage destruction cycles trigger the chronic stimulation of T cells. This creates a severe cellular imbalance that leads directly to the dysregulation of autoimmunity. Ultimately, this biological cascade promotes the acceleration of pre-existing autoimmune disorders. The damage also reaches the systemic level. These particles can enter the bloodstream, potentially leading to chronic kidney disease, severe eye etching, and the infiltration of skin barriers. Inside the body, these particles initiate a cascade that effectively instructs the immune system to destroy healthy lung and organ tissue. To understand the danger, look at federal safety limits. OSHA sets the permissible exposure limit for respirable silica at 50 micrograms per cubic meter, represented by this barely visible speck in a vast cube of air. European standards are even more rigorous. The German MAK standard for amorphous silica shrinks that limit further to just 0.02 milligrams per cubic meter. Global hazard codes specifically tied to these materials, like H373, warn of permanent organ damage through prolonged exposure, alongside severe respiratory and contact warnings. The medical literature and regulatory data confirm a clear reality. This material is a documented toxin capable of causing irreversible systemic harm. Standard paper dust masks cannot filter nanoscale mists or particles. Protecting workers requires an immediate transition to professional-grade respiratory equipment. The minimum is a NIOSH-approved half mask or full-face respirator with P100 filters. Confined spaces require self-contained breathing apparatus. Site safety requires heavy-duty nitrile gloves and fully sealed chemical-resistant suits, along with HEPA-filtered local exhaust ventilation. All dry sweeping should be banned in favor of wet cleanup methods. Never mix, spray, sand, or grind colloidal silicates with comprehensive respiratory and skin protection. The years-long latency of nano-silica damage cannot be an excuse for complacency. Use proper protection today, or pay for exposure with your health tomorrow.